Good morning, good morning, good morning. How we feeling? Josh forgot to mention to you guys that I'm also his personal trainer. I'm just kidding. Guys, we are about to make history together. How many are ready to be a part of what we believe is going to be the biggest movement, not just in the self-care world, but in the wealth care world? We are about to make history together. How many are here for that reason? The power that comes when warriors, when limitless thinkers come together and change the questions that we ask better questions. Really, this whole movement of BioLimitless is the result of people that had the courage to ask better questions, right? How many are so excited to hear from Dr. Eric Nepute today? It is such an honor for every single one of us to be able to call ourselves pioneers of this project, because this is the culmination of his journey, of his life's work, of his courage to face the system, to overcome challenges. And I really do believe, most importantly, to have the courage to ask better questions. But the real courage, and this is, I think, for every one of us, when we have the audacity, or we push our own limits to ask better questions, we have to have the courage to hear the better answers and take action when those answers come. There's a story that I love. Actually, it comes from the Bible. This is not in any way a religious reflection, but there's power in this story that I believe sort of represents this limitless, this biolimitless movement of thinkers and people that say, hey, let's go out and do what has never been done before. How many of you believe that we are all born to do what has never been done before? So it's one of my favorite, because this when I was a young man starting my journey in life, the message that I'm going to share with you from this story just opened my eyes to understand it's got nothing to do with religion at all. It's a principle that transcends any culture and any belief system. It's so powerful. And it's the story, and you're probably familiar with it, but do you remember the story when the 12 disciples were in the boat and Peter walked on water? How many of y'all agree that's pretty limitless, right? He was. How many of y'all agree he was definitely one of us? I'm pretty sure Peter would be in the room today. And to put the story in context, they're in the boat and they see a figure walking on the water towards them. And Peter says, the voice says to them, first of all, because he saw they were afraid, said, do not be afraid, it is I. And Peter said, Lord, if it is you, call me to come. And he said, it is I, come. And Peter gets out of the boat, and for a moment, he walks on water. And I don't even get caught up in the part where, he looked at the waves and got scared and fell. Who cares? That's not the important part of the story. Really, the important part of the story is he did walk on water for that moment, right? But I remember, because isn't it funny? Like, you'll walk on water and folks will focus on the fall. Right? But yeah, but you fell. Are you kidding? But I walked on water. He walked on water, right? But I remember being 18 years old and reading that story, and I asked a question. I said, why? What was different? What was it about Peter? Because there were 11 other folks in the boat that did not walk on the water. I didn't really have any questions about those folks. My curiosity was, what was it about this one dude that did? What what was the characteristics? What were the qualities? What was that in this story that made the difference? And so when you go back and you start to look at this story, and Peter said these words. He said, if it is you, call me to come. He said, it is me, come. This is what hit me. Peter was willing to hear anything. What allowed him to ask a bigger question than other people? It's because he had the courage to hear and say yes to something new. He had the courage, before ever asking the question, before ever putting himself in this position, there was something in his nature that said, I am willing to hear anything. Even if it's never been done before. Even if people think that it's impossible to do. Even if it doesn't make sense to limited ways of thinking, we have to be willing to hear and step in directions that have never been done before. And with everything inside of me, I believe that that's what this movement is all about. And I believe that that's what's attracted this group, this foundational group of people into the room today, is we are a group of people that say we are willing and ready to do what has never been done before. How many of y'all resonate with that? And there's a power and there's a courage and there's a force that shows up even when one person says, I'm willing to do the impossible. I'm willing to think outside of the box. Even one person like Dr. Eric Nepute, who asked the questions, how can we make health the foundation of healthcare instead of sickness? And he asked a question, he asked a better question. The doctors you're gonna hear from today, and so many of the leaders that are ready to launch this, it's because we understand. I use this example, I say, listen, to expect, and we're not anti the system. We're not here to talk bad or put down. It's a parallel system that's being created. A parallel system that is gonna allow people to live in a better state of health. But to expect the current healthcare system, a $13 trillion industry, to actually unlock the secrets and the keys to getting rid of sickness and disease. It's like expecting the oil and gas industry to be the ones who are promoting and building electric cars. Are you with me? Oil and gas is their asset. They have no incentive to be the ones who pioneer an industry that removes the need for oil and gas. We have an opportunity to really pioneer a revolution in the world today. And we're not just talking about a wellness company today. I want to open everyone's mind to prepare for what Dr. Eric and the team are going to be talking about today, because we're not just talking about a wellness project. Nutritional supplements and this and that. We're talking about, guys, do you guys know that we're going to be crowdfunding and launching 2,000 Biolimitless centers of excellence around the world? Never been done. The first ever community-backed, community-driven, and community-owned health clinics that are bringing the future of science, the cutting edge, bleeding edge of science to the world. And we're gonna build that brand and prove that reality to the world and actually have real clinics all around the globe in every country around the world. And we get to own that. It's never been done. Everyone here today has seen the presentations. Things like the most advanced DNA testing are just the tip of the iceberg of where we are going as a community. Dr. Eric's vision is to revolutionize what is possible in the world of health and in the human body, and to unlock its potential. And here's the thing that we've learned is I don't come from the medical industry. And one thing I've seen, and Dr. Eric has said over and over, he said, here's the thing. He said, I'm just humbled and honored to have this moment and be a part of this movement. But he said, there are thousands and thousands in the science world, in the medical world, doctors all around the world who are on the leading edge of this way of thinking, who are saying, hey, if we can get things right at a cellular level, if we can help reduce inflammation at the root in the human body, if we can get gut health right, these are the root causes of so many of the things the world is suffering in the world, and they're in this mission already. If we can test, not guess, this is a movement that's happening already around the world. We're not creating the movement, we're simply creating a model and a structure that allow us to bring this movement to the masses. Paul Zane Pilzer, who's been one of the best economists to predict different movements in the world, he has been saying for quite a while now about the wellness revolution. And he said, whoever figures out and defines what that is, that's the movement that's going to become the next multi-trillion-dollar industry. And it hasn't been done yet. Because I can tell you this, redefining that movement is not just about better products. It's not. We couldn't have launched this project if the only conversation we got to have was our protein's better than your protein, and our weight loss is better than your weight loss, and our skin cream is better than your skin cream. If we were just playing in that arena, guys, that's not walking on water, and that's not asking a better question. And we knew with a disruptive model like decentralization, if we were ever going to show up in the market in this type of environment, it had to be disruptive, a disruptive product category as well. And he said, whoever defines that is going to lead the next trillion-dollar movement. Well, no one's defined it. The second thing he said that movement, he believes, can only happen through the peer-to-peer economy of network marketing. That's a powerful statement from one of the most respected voices in the world today. But he said you cannot create a movement like that unless it is by the people, for the people. It has to be led by the people. People ask Dr. Eric all the time, and he's got so many other businesses and projects that he does, but he says, man, why would you be getting involved and launching Biolimitless in a peer-to-peer, in a direct sales environment? Well, we'll show the world why over the next 90 days and over the next 9 years, and are you with me? They'll go, oh my God, that was genius. But the reason why is because this is a platform that believes in freedom. We believe in the freedom of the people, freedom of economy, freedom to have your own decision-making when it comes to your health care and your self-care. We believe in freedom and empowerment. This is a revolution. There's two groups of people I have fallen in love with in my life. The first one is the community that we're in today, the community of network marketing, because I saw people with courage who said, hey, we're willing to think outside the box. We're willing to grow and personally develop. I fell in love with this community 30 years ago. It's been my tribe. But a few years ago, I fell in love with another community, and that was the blockchain Web3 decentralized community. I said, holy smokes, these are people that are challenging the system. They understand the Federal Reserve is trying to control everything with the printing of the dollar, and they understand that if we can decentralize more of the economy, we can create a global revolution financially for people. And I believe there's a third movement now that I've met through Dr. Eric that I didn't even know existed. And that's a movement in the science world of people who believe and who are thinking and leading outside of the box, who are longing to bring real solutions to the world, and who constantly are running up against the system that's trying to keep breakthrough down, trying to hold innovation down unless they can control it. How many of y'all agree we cannot be controlled? And now we have this moment where I believe three of the most cutting edge elements in the world today: the entrepreneurial spirit that comes with a peer-to-peer economy, the decentralized belief system and energy of the blockchain world of truth, trust, and transparency, and the revolutionary thinking that's happening in the science world today. We bring those three together in a single movement. And guys, there's no limit that can hold us back. Are you with me? So I want to invite every one of you today to prepare to understand the power of what we have our hands on, to prepare to come out of this event not just excited, but ready to take something to the world. Part of what we're going to really be working, and by the way, this is a soft launch today. We're having our official launch of BioLimitless March 1st of 2025 in Dubai. Without a doubt, we will fill the arena up at that event 6 months from now. This is a global launch all over the world. The doors open today in soft launch, but we've got 6 months between now and that event. And it's that for me is the most exciting time of any business build. That pre-launch phase, that's where you find the visionaries. That's where you find people who say, hey, we are willing to go through the necessary challenges to get this thing so dialed in that it becomes a well-oiled machine that reaches the world. We're willing to go through the process to see what's working, what's not working, what is the market needing, what tools, what resources, right? How many of y'all are here today because you're not afraid of going through the process of a startup of a pre-launch phase? Look, once it's a well-oiled machine, the whole world comes in. That's the easy part. But the ones that say, let's go first, those are the ones that say, we see the vision, we believe in the vision, and who start to transfer that vision and play a role in laying the foundation that one day becomes the movement. And by the way, we're the ones, the foundation folks, that ultimately get to win the biggest on a financial perspective because we get to go first and you get to be in front of this entire movement. The word is out. The word is out about BioLimitless. The word is out. There's going to be lovers, there's going to be haters. But if we stand together as a community and we believe in the vision that Dr. Eric is going to be sharing with us here today, nothing is impossible. Dr. Eric is one of the most powerful voices in our world today. He has, as a result of his dedication to truth, has been persecuted. He's been attacked. He's had to, in some ways, go against the system to be where he is today. When I heard his story, I was with Dr. Eric and Jody. Jody, it's good to see you here today as well. Jody Nepute. Give it up for Dr. Eric's incredible wife, Jody Nepute. I think I've seen Dr. Eric more than she has the last few months. We've been traveling, and thank you so much for letting him have the freedom to do what he's done to get us to this moment. But I was in their home when he got the call from his lawyer that this $500 billion lawsuit and the freezing the bank accounts and trying to take his medical, all the things he went up against with the U.S. government, that they were ready to settle and drop that entire thing and say, okay, let's move on. You were right. I was in his home when he got that call. And I remember the first thing he said, it wasn't, it was, now we can go do what we've been called to do. And that's when I knew. I said, we're kindred souls. We're meant to do life together. And he's become a brother. He's become a friend. The things that he's going to talk about today have impacted my life on a tremendous level, just from a health perspective. And you're going to hear an incredible vision of what we have at BioLimitless today. So I believe with all of my heart that this movement deserves the greatest leaders in the world. We're attracting the greatest leaders in the world to go out and take this movement, BioLimitless, to the world. That's who's in this room today. From this room, we are going to echo around the world and make history. We're going to reshape, redefine, bring new life to this industry that is ripe for disruption, that is ready to be disrupted. And we're going to do it with the product and product category that we have. We're going to do it with the breakthrough business model that we have that we're going to talk about this afternoon. And we're going to do it, I believe, most importantly, with the greatest leaders coming together, thinking collectively, collective genius, and saying together we can go out and truly do what has never, ever been done before. So how many are ready? All right.